Hi there, it's Lisa from Lisa MW back again with you from my beautiful office with my mentor and buddy hanging out back there with me. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something different. And I just wanted to share this. I keep getting a nudge to share it, so I will. Over the last few months, probably the last 6 months or so, I got really caught up in watching a lot of videos about Chris Watts, who is the person that killed his pregnant wife and his two daughters in just horrific ways. And as I watched that, I kind of got into some videos about covert narcissists. So they're not overtly narcissists like a lot of people out there that you can tell that they're narcissists. They're kind of on the down low about it. And so I did a lot of listening to videos and just kind of having stuff roll around in my head. And I stumbled upon videos with, from like a family therapist with mothers and daughters, where the mother is a narcissist. And I'm like, oh, my mother was a narcissist. And that blew me away because I always thought she was just kind of bitchy and bitter and grumpy. And that's just the way she was. I did not realize there was something else at work there. And so I started looking at my life with her. Now, my mom died in 2006, but you know, old habits stay around for a long time. So I started looking at my life, and I was an only child. My dad went blind when I was 6 months old from diabetic complications. And from those same diabetic complications, he lost his legs, both legs, when I was 10. Can you imagine you're blind and you have no legs? I don't know how that man existed, but anyway. So my mom was very, very focused on taking care of him because he was a handful, and me, I was a handful too. And so I grew up kind of on my own. I'm an only child, but feeling very loved. I grew up feeling very, very, very loved. And I had a beautiful rapport with my mom and with my dad. And I was very happy in that space, even though it was a challenging space because, you know, had to take care of my dad sometimes when my mom was at work and, you know, so there's kinds of things. So after my dad died, and I was 14 when he died, and my mom was 44. She just like lost her focus. She lost her reason for living, I think. And so she took it and she focused it all on me. And at that age, that's when you really want to get away from your mom. You want to get away, you want to separate and individuate. And that's what I wanted to do. And that was when she kind of glommed onto me. And I remember her, you know, telling me, oh, you are my everything, you're everything. And I remember thinking like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. I think that you're supposed to have a life, and I'm supposed to have a life, and we love each other, and we have a life. Okay, so I started to look at how the guilt came on from my mom and really how I was responsible for her feelings, her whatever, like whatever was going on, I was responsible. And I just carried around this guilt. I mean, I come from an Italian family anyway. So, you know, I would get this, oh, how could you leave your mother? And, you know, so it was very challenging for me to release that. And I realized that I am still walking around feeling guilty for everything. Again, my husband's in the kitchen doing the dishes. I'm sitting there online thinking, oh, I should be I'm doing the dishes. I'm not doing the dishes. He's doing the dishes. I should be doing the dishes. I know he's not thinking that when I'm in there doing the dishes. I know he's not. And I realized, like, where does this guilt, this 24/7 guilt come from? Mom, I wasn't doing enough. I was never enough. I could never fill that space inside of her. And she just got really odd about it, just really odd. I remember her telling me one time, I know things you don't think I know. I don't want to know what you think you know. I don't want to know any of it. And she was all up in my business. All, even when I was 22, 23, and I still lived with her. She was all up in my business and very judgmental. Don't come home pregnant. You know, I mean, she was very, very judgmental. And the hard part for me was that I know where that pain came from. I know why she was that way. And I sympathized with her. And what's the word? I was enmeshed. I was very enmeshed with her because I understood her pain. But that didn't make it okay. And so I think back to some of the things that she has said to me. Nobody will love you if you're fat. No man loves a fat woman ever. And I remember at the time thinking, that's not true. Daddy loved you. You know, my uncle loves my aunt. That's not true. And so was that. This one always cracked me up. Your cousin was a virgin when she got married, and her husband makes $80,000 a year. You know, like there's a correlation between being a virgin and your husband making a lot of money. I said, Mom, that ship has sailed. You may as well give that one up because that ship has sailed. You know, or she'd say things to me like, I remember I took a watercolor class, and I was like in my 30s. I took a watercolor class. I'm not artistic by any means. I can hear angels and guides and teachers, but I can't draw for anything. And so I did this one that was like in ocean colors, and I brought it home for her to see, brought it to her next time I visited for her to see. And she laughed and she said, honey, this is so bad. Oh, really bad. Why would you say that to anyone, much less the child, right? Much less somebody who knows they don't do well with that. So she was always kind of poking at me. You know, I remember when I started, I guess I had broken up with somebody or whatever, love life crap I had going on. And she kind of went into this whole thing about, how come they always leave you? This one left and that one left and that one left. And I was like, and I remember on the phone saying to her, I'm not really sure why you're saying this to me, but I don't like it. And could you stop? And she did. I think it took her back. Didn't expect that from me. So I have a very contentious relationship with my mother from when my dad died onward. And I still carry a lot of that today. The nobody will love you if you're fat. That lives in my head. Okay, I'm not going to cry. That lives in my head. Even as much as I know that is not true. I feel like I should have that engraved on my tombstone. Anyway, sorry for the tears. But I started to look at where did all this come from? And do I want this anymore? Do I even want this anymore? And I was like, no, I do not want to carry that guilt. That one's hard. I will tell you, I am working on releasing that guilt. You know, if my husband's in there doing the dishes, I have to remember, like, it's okay, you're okay, everything's okay. But understanding that my mom was a narcissist helped shift a lot of things for me, because I thought it was me. I thought it was me that was so flawed and I could do nothing right. And it wasn't. And so that was very free. I mean, when I had my 60th birthday in October, I had like a 3/4 life crisis, hence the pink hair. It'll be blue next time you see me. But mostly what that's been about is taking back Lisa. The Lisa that's always been there, and that my mom put her stuff on it. And I accepted that stuff. I took that stuff. And here's the thing. I just want to say this. I loved my mom. I really did. Even when she was bitchy and mean or whatever. And I know she loved me. And I know she did not have the skills to help herself. She went to therapy, but, you know, she didn't have the skills to help herself. And so it got all on me. I am very thankful that somehow, some way, I found the skills and I worked my way through a lot of that. As you can see, not all of it. But at 60, I thought, okay, how do I want the rest of my life to be? And there's a beautiful writer, poet. Her name is Mona Eltahawy. And she's got red hair and she's got big glasses and makeup. And every time I see her, I think that's who I am underneath all of this, because she's bold. And so I'm like, why am I hiding? Why do I continue to hide? Why do I continue to look like the nice lady next door when really I'm a bold chick underneath all of it? So I wanted to share with you, though, that whole piece, because it's been a lot of work to start looking at what was mine, what's hers, why I carry the guilt around so much, and how do I allow myself to just be me? Who is that me? And how do I just allow myself to be that without feeling like I'm being judged every 5 seconds? You know, I remember when I told her that I could hear animals. I could hear my cats talking to me. One time I was very deep in meditation. And I was just sitting on the floor and I could hear one cat walk by. And I had a cat that wasn't overly bright. And I could just hear, I'm a cat. I am a cat. I'm a cat. I'm a cat. I'm a cat. And I was like, oh, I know who that is. And I peeked my eye open, sure enough. And then in turn, each one of my cats spoke to me. And that was really the first time that I had heard anything before I realized I was a channel. And I remember telling my mom about it. And her first thought was, honey, she called me honey, are you going crazy? I said, it might be. Seems like a lot of fun. So I tell you all this to maybe let you know that not everybody's perfect and we all struggle with a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm a beautifully clear channel, but I got my own junk going on too, that I really work hard to get through, because that's part of being a clear channel. You can't be a clear channel if you're not looking at your stuff. And I acknowledge that and this happened before my channeling training class, dropped in, like boom, dropped in. And I know, because this is how things work with me, I know that I had to let go of some stuff before that bigger piece could come in. So I had to really start looking at who am I? And, you know, may as well start now, looking at who I am and how I want to be in the world, and how do I want to share what's truly mine in the world, uniquely me. And 2 things have come up: the channeling training, which I'm loving it so much, and I just love it. And the other thing is writing a cozy mystery. And if you don't know what those are, think about like Murder, She Wrote. It's really where the murder and the police procedural is not important. What's important are the relationships and the story and the humor and all of that. And that's been bubbling under the surface for a couple of years. And it was just like, no. And everybody's like, you want to write a book about learning to trust your intuition? No, I want to write this cozy mystery. I want to do a series on this cozy mystery. And those are the things that when you start clearing out the junk, you really can see what's truly there. I saw a post in a group the other day where they were saying, a woman was saying, like, she spent so much of her time taking care of other people that she didn't know what was hers or what she even wanted anymore. And I think a lot of us are in that situation where we have, especially empaths, where we have taken on everybody else's junk that we don't even know what's ours anymore. And I didn't, or at least I didn't know what was mine without the judgment, without the judgment. And like I said, my mom's been gone since 2006. And while I wasn't happy that she died, she was in a lot of pain. She had a lot of problems with her physical body. And so I was joyful that she was released from that pain. But I was also joyful for me because I was done with that. Like, I'm done with that. I'm done with carrying that part of that load. But it's taken me, what, 15 years to even start working through this and the layers that come with it. And you do it when you're ready. You do it when it shows up. And it showed up for me. And as soon as I got it, my interest in the whole Chris Watts thing, like, poof, went out the window. I was like, okay, thank you, universe. Thank you for that gift, because it came in a way that I could dive in, because that's what I do. And it piques my interest. I go in 100%. And it got me, but it got me into the world of what it is like to grow up with a narcissistic parent. And it was very challenging, and I didn't realize it. I just thought that's how everybody is. So that's my long story. I hope that if you've grown up with a narcissistic parent, or if you are in a relationship with a narcissist, which I have also done, that you find a way to figure out what's yours, what you want to do, what you want to say, all of it, that's yours. And if you need any help, if you need, just reach out. Just shoot me an email, lisam.com. If you just need an ear, I'm happy to do that. This has been a challenge. I went back to therapy in a very different way than I did when I was in my 30s, and I mostly just whined about stuff. I was mostly dedicated to asking someone to just listen to me. Now I'm looking at it like process. And it's a very different kind of therapy for me. And it's mostly focused on acknowledging what's been true, acknowledging what I've been through, and acknowledging that it has shaped me. And do I want those ways to shape me anymore? Or do I want to just let them go? Some people do it at 20, some people do it at 60. But whenever you do it, it's always a step in the direction of what your soul is here to do. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. I'm still got tears rolling down my face. Why did I do this makeup? I have no idea. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.